This was one strange village. Anything red was strictly forbidden here. Even if a single red flower bud bloomed, the villagers would pluck it immediately and bury it in the ground. That's because bloodthirsty monsters lurked just beyond the village, and the color red was like a beacon that would draw them in to attack and kill. The only color these creatures feared was yellow. To protect their home, the villagers painted protective symbols all along the village border using yellow paint. The village chief had also forbidden anyone from crossing the boundary, and every week they would sacrifice a fattened cow at the edge of the village. Thanks to these rules, the village had enjoyed 50 years of peace. That all changed when one reckless villager shattered the calm. John had snuck into the forest during a break to goof around and picked some red berries while he was at it. That very night, disaster struck. The night watchman spotted red monsters storming into the village and frantically rang the alarm bell. The piercing sound echoed through every corner of the village. Villagers scattered in panic. When Mike saw a little girl standing alone, he risked his life to escort her home, only to find himself cornered by a monster. Meanwhile, Mary, who was blind, stood anxiously at her doorway with her arms outstretched, waiting for her boyfriend. Luckily, just as the monster closed in, Mike grabbed Mary and pulled her inside. He slammed the door shut and rushed her down to the cellar, barely escaping with their lives. The next morning, a red mark appeared on every doorstep in the village, a clear sign that something far worse was coming. To appease the monster's rage, the chief sent men to deliver beef into the forest and held a ritual sacrifice. The villagers thought this would calm the creatures down, but when night fell, they found animal carcasses scattered throughout the village. The monsters had clearly done this. The chief called an emergency meeting and demanded to know who had provoked the monsters. Mike, being the decent guy he was, didn't rat out John. Fortunately, the village settled back into an uneasy calm over the following days. Before long, Mike worked up the courage to propose to Mary, and she happily said yes. The next day, she shared the good news with everyone in the village. What she didn't expect was John showing up at her door, trying to stop the wedding. He'd been secretly in love with her all along. Mike kicked him out on the spot. Humiliated and furious, John pulled out a knife and stabbed Mike in the stomach. Mike collapsed to the ground, and word spread through the village like wildfire. Mary held her wounded fiancé in her arms, devastated but certain of who had done this. Consumed by rage, she stormed into John's house and beat him senseless. The chief, worried things would spiral out of control, rushed over and pulled her off. Mike's life wasn't in danger, but he still needed medicine to fully recover. Determined to save the man she loved, Mary decided to make the dangerous journey to town for the medicine. Before she left, the chief revealed a shocking secret. He led Mary into a pitch-black room, and in the darkness, she felt a pair of sharp claws.
No, sweetheart, speak up!
Don't be frightened. It is only farce.
As her father explained, Mary finally understood. The so-called monsters were actually village elders in disguise. The whole thing had been a scheme to keep the villagers from ever leaving. Wanting his daughter to find happiness, the chief encouraged Mary to go get the medicine. He gave her a gold watch to trade for what she needed, knowing her poor eyesight would make the journey difficult. He also arranged for 2 young men to accompany her, but the moment they reached the village entrance, one of them got spooked and bolted. The other made up some excuse about a stomachache and took off too. Left with no choice, Mary pressed on alone. Before long, she lost her footing and tumbled into a deep pit. She managed to grab onto some tree roots along the edge and clawed her way back up. But just as she caught her breath, she heard the howl of a monster. Mary froze, trembling all over. That's when it hit her. Her father's story about the monsters being fake was just a lie to keep her from being afraid. As the creature closed in, Mary thought fast. She backed up toward the pit and made noise to get its attention. When the monster lunged at her, she dodged at the last second, and it went tumbling straight into the hole. To her shock, the monster turned out to be John in disguise. He had only meant to scare her into going back, but his injuries from the fall proved fatal. Soon after, Mary made it through the forest and came across a kind ranger. After she pleaded with him, he helped her get the medicine she needed. Back in the village, Mary treated Mike's wounds, and he made a full recovery. Having survived this life and death ordeal together, the two finally got their happy ending.